भारत के मुख्य न्यायमूर्ति न्यायमूर्ति श्री संजीव खन्ना।
I, Sanjiv Khanna,
having been appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India,
do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया, आपकी अनुमति हो तो समारोह का समापन किया जाए।
Justice Sanjiv Khanna, who has been part of several landmark Supreme Court judgments, such as the scrapping of the electoral bond scheme and upholding the abrogation of Article 370, has now been sworn in as the 51st Chief Justice of India. Our President, Droupadi Murmu, has administered the oath of office at Rashtrapati Bhavan, where live visuals are coming in from on your screens at the moment. But Justice Sanjiv Khanna has taken over as the 51st Chief Justice of India for a brief tenure of about 6 months till his retirement in May 2025. A little bit about Justice Khanna. He has served as a Supreme Court judge since January 2019. He has been a part of several landmark judgments, such as upholding the sanctity of the EVMs, scrapping of the electoral bond scheme, upholding the abrogation of Article 370 and the grant of interim bail to former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. He was elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court back in 2019. But to understand what lies ahead of him and the larger ramifications, we have with us Sunil Prabhu on the phone line. Sunil, take us through Justice Khanna's illustrious family legacy, his rise from Tis Hazari Court to the Delhi High Court, and his controversial elevation to the Supreme Court.
Well, he's been, as you rightly pointed out, a man who has really come up. He comes from a legal background. His father was a judge. His uncle was famous Justice H.R. Khanna, who had given a dissenting opinion in the ADM Jabalpur case. And it is in that context, and finally his uncle was superseded, so couldn't become the Chief Justice of India. Today, of course, history has been created with Justice Sanjiv Khanna himself being sworn in as the 51st Chief Justice of India. As you're well aware, Justice Sanjiv Khanna hails from the city of Delhi. He's studied in modern school as well as St. Stephen's, and then went on to, Delhi Faculty of Law, and has been a lawyer and risen from the ranks, as you rightly pointed out, from Tis Hazari to becoming a judge in the Delhi High Court, and finally being elevated to the Supreme Court. There has been an interesting anecdote in his legal as well as judiciary career. He hasn't served as a Chief Justice in any High Court, but that has not been an impediment for his being elevated to the highest office in terms of the judiciary. So it's definitely a huge, the fact that he's been sworn in. As you rightly pointed out, he's been on a number of constitutional benches in terms of giving decisions, be it Article 370 or electoral reforms. But more importantly, in terms of civil liberties, during the height of the 2024 elections, he decided to grant bail to the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, so that he could campaign and ensure, as he pointed out, that there was a level playing field and everybody could participate in a democratic exercise. So that being said, it's definitely history in the making. He has also very carefully and over 5 days deliberated about the electronic voting machines before giving the go-ahead to the Election Commission to continue its exercise of getting people to vote through the EVMs and the VVPAT system.
Right, Sunil, before we let you go, also take us through some of the important cases that lie ahead of him.
Well, there are a number of cases that lie before him, which he will have to take a decision on. What's most important will be about the pendency. You see, you can't expect something earth-shattering in the next 6 months, but definitely pendency and speedy justice is something that is very critical for people to look at. And I think everybody, litigants, the government, everybody wants speedy justice instead of, courts deliberating for days, if not years, and yet to be able to find, the delivery of justice. So I think that's an important aspect that we will have to wait and see how he performs. But definitely, whether he goes ahead with the constitutional courts that was started by Chief Justice Lalit and then was carried on by Justice Chandrachud, and to ensure that people are able to deliver justice in whatever manner as soon as possible.